Okay, I think I'll start with a short presentation named Finnish Expertise in Education, Wellbeing for All. First, some facts about Finland. You may know that Finland is a small country in Europe with 5.6 million inhabitants. And you also may know that Finland has succeeded in many education by many measures. Maybe the most famous is the PISA study, where we have been among the best countries in many years. Some more facts about the Finnish education. In Finland, all children participate in high-quality early childhood education and attend comprehensive school. In Finland, almost all schools are public, and the quality differences in schools are very small. All our teachers are university-trained masters. Also, in early childhood education, most of our teachers are masters. And then something about our University of Eastern Finland, just that you know that it is the biggest teacher education educator in Finland. Here you can see the figure of our education system. There on the bottom you see the green boxes. There are the early childhood education, pre-primary education, and basic education. And early childhood and pre-primary education are voluntary, but almost 100% of the children go there too. And compulsory education starts at the age of 7 and ends when the children are age of 18. So after the basic education, they go to vocational institute or general upper secondary school, which they can use which one they want to go. And what is really important in this figure are those arrows, which you can see that you can change your line and there are no dead ends in our schooling system. Another important thing here is that our basic education and the whole compulsory education actually have national curriculum. And our national curriculum defines objectives, contents, and assessment criteria for all levels of education. In the core of the curriculum is the school culture, and above that, you see that we emphasize knowledge and skills needed in life, but also motivation and joy of learning. If you want to understand Finnish education more deeply, we need to look at the underlying values. And there you can see equity, equality, and well-being. Our school system provides equality for all students, which means that everybody has the same resources and opportunities during their school path. Even more important value is, however, equity. Equitable education system ensures that every student can achieve their educational potential regardless of their personal or social circumstances. In other words, factors such as gender, ethnic origin, individual differences, or family background doesn't determine pupil success at school. Okay, let's continue with well-being in Finnish school. The concept of well-being has a broad meaning in Finnish education, including physical, mental, social, as well as economic aspects. All children have the right to well-being, a right which has been integrated into Finnish legislation, the national core curriculum, and also local curricula, which is extension of the national curriculum, and they all function as the form. Pupils' well-being is viewed as a fundamental and important for pupils' learning abilities. In other words, we think that you need to feel good to be able to learn. That is our core in our education. And if you want to create this well-being at your school, you have to be able to create a strong and supportive school culture. The first thing is that you need to have the same values inside the learning community. In addition to those underlying values, what we were talking just a moment ago, we need to understand concept of learning and teaching in the same way. We have the skilled teachers, which means that high-level education gives crucial knowledge about children's development, learning, and teaching. And also, after you got your profession, you have an ability to have in-service training. Good communication between adults and children mean good interaction between a teacher and a pupil, and that has been found to be one key element which influence children's learning results. It do matter how a teacher speaks to a child, what kind of feedback a child gets, and how safe a child can feel during a school day. Positive interactions generate positive learning results. Support in learning in Finland. We think that it is really important to support every child from his or her own starting point and enable them to reach their best. This is something what our legislation also obligates. In Finland, we have a great number of special teachers at every level of schooling. Students' welfare system. Every school has also a students' welfare team, which is a multidisciplinary expert group. It consists of teachers and healthcare specialists. And then, how to strengthen community at school? Our answer is the student participation. Here are some examples of how we participate our students in our school life. Student union. Every school has a student union where there is a representation of pupils of every class. They meet regularly and they are able to propose important things to students and to the whole community, school community. There is also a picture of learning environment planning, where people were able to be a part of the planning process for a real class project. Also, it's important that students feel that they can participate in every lesson, and that's actually more important. Because we think that if we support students' ability to participate and we support their abilities to learn, they learn to be active learners through their life. And that's something what we are really aiming at. Here is just one more example of a learning environment where students were able to be with us when we were planning a new classroom. I think I say thank you for your listening, and I give the speech for Samba and Ulla, who are telling you more about the modules. Thank you.
Thank you, Minna. We were thinking that now, before we give some space for the questions, we would like to tell a couple of words about the study modules which you can which you can study with us at the PreClass. So all modules are including the theoretical knowledge, and participants are able to participate in pedagogical practices through different workshops, group discussions, and course materials. For example, we have a virtual course library. House space is a learning environment. It includes many possibilities to social interaction and, for example, also Arabic translation possibilities. In some modules, we also have on-site weeks, which means that it is based in Saudi Arabia and it has the interaction and active learning with Finnish trainers there in Saudi Arabia. We use a lot of flipped learning methods, which means that you can gather the knowledge of latest trends in education. And Finnish teacher education is here based on research in the universities, and also in the modules we offer you for example, the educational design research, which we will present and include to our modules, and all the participants we will have a possibility to learn about that.
All right, thank you, Ulla, for the big picture.
Big picture.
And now going into the, let's say, more the exact content of the modules. First one is the introduction to Finnish pedagogy. As Minna in her keynote expressed, there is the, let's say, broader goals that we have as a strong part of our pedagogical background, with the kind of phenomenon-based learning and inquiry-based learning and these big kind of themes. And of course, the development of school culture, well-being in the center of each learner. The teacher's role is to make it possible for the kids to learn, or the learners to learn. And as Minna mentioned, the kind of formation of a positive learning environment, teaching environment is very critical in that. There is the student-centered approach quite strongly in the middle of this concept. And you will hear, of course, what are the key factors more in detail in this module 1. But of course, when we are collaborating with whoever, it's always a two-way street. So it's also discussing and learning from each other, and the sharing of best practices. So it's a path of learning and exploration also for us. But I think Minna told about the key points in the Finnish pedagogy. So this is module number 1. And going into module number 2, Ulla will share a little bit about the early education.
Yes, so the module number 2 is concerning the early childhood education. Idea is to gain some understanding about the holistic pedagogy from the early childhood education view. And we are talking about the child's motivation, development, learning, and of course, well-being, as our keynote just were speaking about. Also, the latest trends in early childhood education and care from Finland, but also internationally, are presented. And after the module, the participants will be able to describe the pedagogical practices and the role of early childhood education, or the important role. We will get to know the learning environments, inclusive learning environments, how they work in the early childhood education and care, and also have a little view of the education research.
Great. And moving on, module number 3 is about the learning environments. And when we are talking about learning environments, of course, we're talking about the development of learning environments, maybe the competencies of the teachers or the educators in their how they work in their environment. Do they have an impact on the learning environments? So this is something that module 3 contains. And in that, it's about making the best possible options for learning or whatever the activities you have. The learning environment should be kind of possibilistic, not so much restricting the things. And there are many roles that we have to take into consideration. Of course, the physical, but also the psychological, social, the technological aspects, and all parties involved. So in this module 1, we will dive deep into some frameworks of innovative learning environment design, and with hands-on activities, have a look and develop if there are possibilities for us to make the learning environments that you're working in even more better to suit the kind of learning that we want to see in the places.
And module number 4 is pedagogical solutions, and it's actually continuing the same kind of goals as the first module. Idea is to get more deep into educational research and factors of well-being in schools and in early childhood education. It's giving it concentrates the latest trends and develop the school culture and well-being in schools. And the idea is that all the participants will understand the meaning of different pedagogical solutions for different kind of learners.
Yes, and
last but not the
last
least.
So Ulla finished with the words different learners, and special education is, as Minna mentioned, a very key element in the Finnish system, that we have the kind of large variety of support for the learners. At the moment, there is a 3-level support system for special education that us teachers are using. There is a little bit of change in that, and we'll probably, when we are having this, we will have another new way of doing this. But still, the kind of core is, of course, the diversities in learning, in the needs of the learners, and in the, once again, the well-being of the learners. So what is, from the child's perspective, the best possible solution for an individual or a group of students in certain situations? So we'll have a look at different kind of not live situations, but anyhow from how we take the individual learning paths, and how we can strength-based use pedagogical ways of getting them to the results that we want. Also having a look at what kind of special the materials we are using, how we are taking this kind of individual needs into consideration when we are developing them. And I'm sure that, for example, PreClass has great materials for that as well. But those are the 5 modules that we will be working on, hopefully with many of you. And from the Finnish side, we would like to stop the presentation. Sorry that the early slides were not visible for you. Mohammed can share the materials with you, so you can have a look at those and have a reflection on, and of course there's a recording as well that you can use. But now it's time to share the stage to our hosts. So Mo and others.
Thank you.